Hey guys, sorry for the delay. Like, it's been a long time. So I'm actually in school right now, so my upload schedule is a bit messed up. But um, I'm trying to record part 5 for What If Goku was like Cell right now. So the way this What If begins is we see Goku and Cell in a space pod jetting off towards planet Namek because Frieza has gone there to improve his Namekian DNA so that he will even have more hacked abilities in future. So as they're flying on this ship, they realize that the travel on this ship is quite slow, and Cell realizes that he actually has the ability to breathe in space due to the Frieza DNA that he possesses. And on top of that, Goku also realizes that he has this ability due to the fact that around a quarter to a third of his DNA is actually Frieza race DNA. So instead of being stuck with the slow space travel of a spaceship, right, they instead decided to leave the spaceship and instead try flying towards planet Namek by normal flight, since they know that they'll survive in space. So in the meantime, they leave the empty spaceship flying towards planet Namek, just in case they'll need any emergency supplies like food, water, or just an extra place to train. So now what happens, right, is they manage to make it to planet Namek in half the time. So originally it would have taken them around 7 days to reach planet Namek, but now they did it in 3.5, which means that they have much more time to prepare for Frieza, and even they managed to tell Grandmaster Guru what's going on. So Goku and Cell then go to Grandmaster Guru, and Guru senses the pure intentions of both of these warriors and how they genuinely want to save the planet. And also what shocks Guru is that Goku and Cell both possess Namekian DNA, which means that they have access to some of their abilities. This makes Guru wonder if they would both have the ability to make Dragon Balls if their DNA grew to a sufficient extent. But for this moment, that remains to be seen. So Guru says that my time on this planet, my time on this in this world is coming to an end, as I'm very old and I've lived for many years. So instead of me dying here and letting my influence on this planet, in this universe, end, would it be fine if I could try fuse with one of you? And then this shocks Goku because he asks, fusion? And the Grandmaster Guru explains how, due to the fact that they have Namekian DNA, that means that Guru could fuse with one of them, which would grant them some of his mystical abilities, which will definitely be a help against Frieza. So, in this situation, Cell thinks it would be better for Goku to get it due to the fact that he, at this moment, is more powerful than even him, and two, he sees that Goku has a lot more room to grow than even he does. So this means that Goku absorbs Grandmaster Guru, which makes him much stronger than even before. But before Guru even gets absorbed, he unlocks the potential of Cell and of Goku, which increases the power 7-fold. So right now, I'll say, due to the fact that they trained a bit in the spaceship and due to their great potential, when they reached planet Namek, they were around 200,000. So I think unlocking potential gives a 7 times power boost in the scenario. So that means that right now they're both at 1,400,000, which is crazy for right now. And now Goku fuses with Grandmaster Guru, which means that his power level multiplies even more than that. Which means, like, right now, I would say his power is like around 140 million just by absorbing Guru alone. Because Namekian absorption is hacked, like, it's very hacked. So then, after this means that Grandmaster Mori, the other Namekian, who is the master of all the Namekians in the Dragon Ball Super, he now manages to inherit the Dragon Balls even earlier than before. So now, after this, we now see Goku and Cell training for the coming of Frieza. And on top of this, Cell now learns the Kaioken technique from Goku. And Goku decides to teach Cell a manner of different techniques that he has learned during his time on Earth. So now I'll say that Frieza arrives with his men. And Goku and Cell are now intelligent in the scenario, so they're not the kind of people to waste time. So instead of waiting for Frieza to spread out with his soldiers, they instead launch a blast that kills every single one of Frieza's soldiers and destroys all the scouters on the ship. Which means that Frieza, using his emergency distress signal, manages to call King Cold and the Ginyu Force. So it's around this time also that Vegeta and Nappa land on the planet, and they see the powers that are on this planet, and they are shocked on the fact that there are a lot of people who are actually able to beat Frieza or have high power levels like Frieza, due to the fact that Goku and Cell are here. So they fly to Goku and Cell and they ask what's going on, and Goku explains what they just did. And so Goku then unlocks Vegeta and Nappa's potential, and due to the fact that he's even more powerful than Grandmaster Guru, this means that the unlock of power will be giant. Like when I say it will be giant, it will be very giant. Like Vegeta will go from 20,000 to a whole 20 million, due to the fact that Goku is much more powerful than even Guru was, and he has a lot more potential that he can unlock. So, and Nappa goes from a measly 5,000 to a 5 million just by that one unlock, which means that they can even compete with the Ginyu Force when they arrive. So now Goku and Cell go to Frieza, and Frieza looks at them and he says, "A monkey and a cockroach are trying to come against me. You guys are very foolish, for I too have acquired DNA from other races. And Goku, I have to say, it's even more potent than yours." So Frieza doesn't waste any time and he enters his final form. So Frieza in this situation has Namekian DNA, Frieza race DNA, of course, because that's his race. He has Yadratian DNA and Carnassian DNA, which means that Frieza in this scenario has a lot more hacked abilities. So Frieza says, "Monkey, let me show you a new skill that I learned I could do." And Frieza puts his fingers on his forehead, teleports behind Nappa, and forms and puts his hand through Nappa's chest, killing him instantly. And this angers Vegeta. Vegeta says, "Nappa, you killed my best friend, my only comrade," due to the fact that during this time, Vegeta and Nappa have gained a much bigger bond, due to the fact that they knew that they needed each other to survive. So they had a more best friend type relationship. And in this situation, Vegeta's eyes go blank and his power starts rising. From 20,000, it keeps going higher. From 20 million, it keeps going higher. 20 million, 30 million, 100 million, and it keeps going higher and higher towards the point that it is unreadable by any scouter, for his power has actually multiplied from a mere 20 million to a whole 1 billion just by this one transformation and his rage boost. So now Vegeta is actually on a competitive level with even Goku right now. So all three of them launch themselves towards Frieza and they start beating him, due to the fact that right now not even one of them would be able to beat Frieza by themselves, but all together they actually have a fighting chance. So they fight Frieza, they beat him up, and it's to the point where they think they're gonna win. But Frieza starts laughing and he says, "If only you guys if only I had never stumbled upon this new DNA, maybe you would have won against me. But I have one more trick up my sleeve." And now we see Frieza's power rising and multiplying, going up 10 times, 100 times, even higher than that. And we see Frieza end up with a new form that looks like Cooler's fifth form, but is also golden. And he says, "I am the ultimate culmination of all the major races in this universe. I am now Omni Frieza." And this shocks Goku and Cell and Vegeta, because they don't, just by sensing this power, they can't stand up. And Goku has no idea how he's gonna beat such an opponent. And no matter what they try, it's not working. So in the meantime, we now see Nail looking at this ongoing fight, and he thinks there is no way these guys can do this alone. I need to help them. So using all the Namekians, due to the fact that they all survived and they're in one place, he asks them to lend him their power, and as he asks them to all fuse into him, so that they can actually fight for their own planet, to which they all agree. So now all the Namekians fuse into Nail, making him the nameless Namekian savior, and he now enters the fight against Frieza. So you'd think that after all this he would stand a fighting chance, but even though he's 10 times stronger than everyone else other than Frieza, whoops Nail to the point where he's about to die. And Nail says, "Cell, I leave it to you. Take the power of the Namekians and end this menace." So then, now we see all the Namekians lending their strength to Cell, and Cell, they all absorb themselves inside of Cell. And Cell says, "I thought my pinnacle was perfection, but now I see that there's even more to learn. For that, I thank you, Goku." And Cell now says, "Kaioken," and his power multiplies. They start fighting Frieza, and Cell is actually starting to win against Frieza. But Frieza is a monster. He learns as he fights. His potential now limitless, and his Namekian DNA making him regenerate at unprecedented rates. So Frieza says, "Every hit you give me, I just get stronger. What are you gonna do, Cell? You have nothing you can do against me. And on top of this, I just found a new ability." So every attack Cell does, Frieza manages to dodge and counter easily. And Cell is wondering, what the hell's going on here? And Frieza laughs and says, "Canasons, how I should have let them stay in my army, how strong they could have been as strategists. For now, I know every move you're gonna make before you make it, Cell. There is no way to beat me." And this means that Cell is on the back foot, and he's getting beaten and pummeled. His regeneration isn't strong enough yet to put him on the same level as Frieza. Every shot he takes, Frieza lands 10. Every time he regenerates, Frieza regenerates 100 times faster and better. There's nothing he can do until he decides, "Look, there's no point in us struggling like this. We may be 3, but we have the hacked ability of Namekian fusion." So he goes to Goku and he says, "Kakarot, I'll give you all my strength, and my only wish is that you kill this menace once and for all." And on top of this, Vegeta even lends Goku some of his energy. And this unlocks a new power in Goku. It gives him that Saiyan boost that he has needed all this time. And on top of that, his rage is bubbling to the surface. So Goku hits his Ikari form. And on top of this, Cell fuses with Goku, making all his DNA double, which means that now he is more than a match for Frieza. So in his Ikari state, he says Kaioken times 10, which puts him on another level compared to Frieza. So he toys with Frieza, beats him up for a while, and as his final attack, he says Kamehameha, and Frieza is wiped out from the whole of this universe in that one blast. Or you'd think, but deep inside of space, we see one cell of Frieza that is frozen in place. It can't regenerate right now, but as time passes, it may regenerate later in future. So everyone thinks Frieza is dead at this point because no one knows if Frieza can regenerate from just a cell. So they managed to ask Piccolo on planet Earth to wish for all the fusions that had taken place and all the damage on Namek to be reversed, which is done with the Dragon Balls, which means that Goku and Cell reverse to their normal forms, and Vegeta now unlocks the power of the Super Saiyan, which will help him actually compete even more in future. So now they arrive back to planet Earth and they take a rest, and they think they are gonna enjoy times of peace since Goku now has a son named Gohan that he's gonna go raise. And things right now seem like everything is normal. But far in the depths of space, we see King Cold retrieving that one cell of Frieza, and he says, "My boy, look how they've massacred you. I will not let them rest until we achieve our revenge. Ginyu Force, you too will be getting some upgrades, and you will assist your emperor in becoming a whole other machine." To which they say, "Yes, King Cold, we will serve and die for the Frieza Empire." And to this, King Cold smiles. And on top of this, we now see a purple cat lying inside of his planet with one eye open, and he says groggily, "Whis, I've felt some strange powers that I've never seen before. Fill me in on what's going on, and if that legendary Super Saiyan of Divine Ki has originated yet." So this is where I'll be ending it off for now, and I hope you enjoy how the stakes have increased. So thanks for listening and watching, and have a good day.